Hey everyone, this is Tracy with Color Me This. We are working on the daily color in Small Victories. It is episode 313. We have the second bird. This will be the second day for this week that we will be coloring in Small Victories, so that means tomorrow we will move along to either Romantic Country or Magical Worlds. So far, Magical Worlds has a poll up for which of the last two mom selected images. So far the hummingbird is winning. I do need to throw up some pencil sets. I'm probably going to do my own personal favorites. I've been able to work a lot with my favorites, it seems, lately. I'm very happy with the sets I've been using. Feels like there's one that I haven't used lately, and that is the 520 flower boxes. So I'm either going to just use them or see if there's another couple of sets. I'll look at my list and see if there's some older sets that I used early on in the round 5 rotation. If so, I will let you guys choose. If I don't see anything interesting that I haven't used in a while, I will just use the flower boxes. But I really like you guys to participate, so hopefully I will find a couple other sets that I would love to use on that hummingbird. So let's get to it. So I have filmed part 1 of my version 3 of my craft room, where I'm going to go through everything in my craft room so you guys can see under the hood. I'm going to start with the coloring books. So the ironic story of, as I grab some pencils here, is that I just reorganized all of my coloring books out in the open, in open cubes above my storage cabinets. I have 3 storage cabinets all lined up, and the cubes that are the old Michaels cubes, I think they're 14 inches by 14 inches, fit perfectly up there. We're going to pause the story time to give you my 5 color blend on these 3 flowers that are going to be red. It does look pink, but they're actually red. Light to dark, bright red 170, peach puff. Oh, I think we've got some barrel issues, so I need to reverse these two. Ignore the colors of the barrels. So peach puff 26, bright red 170, scarlet 118, burgundy 160, and burnt brick, but it's britch. I'm sure that's a typo. I'm sure it's supposed to be brick red 98. So anyhow, I am just getting finished with the coloring book organization by author or illustrator. Some of them have authors, by the way, but also have an illustrator, and I chose to order them in the illustrator order. If they did not have an illustrator name specifically, or it was a group, I just filled them in with the title page. There weren't very many. So I get a phone call this morning. I called the person back. They had a bunch of coloring books to donate. So I think I'm going to go through the coloring books with you guys first, and then I will integrate them. I think that sounds like a fun thing, and that means that this will be 313. I have made that coloring book episode, like 311, no, 310, then 312, and I just felt it needed to be more organized. I had them somewhat random, and then I had a few books that I would like to get rid of. They're oversized books, and I had them in the closet, and I'm like, these cubes will fit those, so I put them back out. So by the time you guys see the organization after we do a quick walkthrough or flip through of these books, I will then have all of my books, and I think right now my book count is going to be around 83 for my entire collection. I never ever thought I would own so many coloring books, and it is a very wide selection or style. Like the books that I picked up today, which was actually right before coloring class, they are a different style of book. I have one book in the style, but I can see that this person who just says they don't have time to color never colored in them, not once, because I don't think they're a really good beginner selection. Now, of course, I am definitely biased toward a particular style of book that works well for me. So I look at these other styles and I think, wow, I don't think you would have to just rethink. I have some thoughts on how I think they would work, but they also would work very well with fine liners, I think, versus colored pencils. A very hard colored pencil, I think, would work. Okay, so hopefully I got Peach Puff is the last one, and I just whipped through all 5 of these while talking. Going lighter, darkest to lightest is what I did. These are, by the way, I would call these, if I had to use one word, it would be fun to give you guys a one word. I still need to do some tier. I don't even know if the tiers are best to worst. There's different ways to do tiers. And then the one word description. These pencils, fast. They color very, very fast. And they fill in the tooth fast, especially this tooth. It's probably different. They also do a really good job on copy paper. Like if you have a really limited budget and you want to go through a bunch of coloring pages and you just want to print them as inexpensively as possible, this is a very good set for cheap copy paper. I have to say, I'm very impressed with their abilities. Also, notice I'm not sharpening my tips. We'll see if I get to any small areas that I absolutely feel the tips have to be sharpened. But that is actually a good thing, that the tips maintain well enough. They feel usable. I don't even know how that is, but to me, certain pencils feel very usable when the tip gets fatter and worn down. Other pencils, I just have this sense that I have to go sharpen them in order to get out of them what I want. And these pencils don't feel that way. I'm just picking some random colors. That was just the darkest. This is Scarlet. It's the 3rd darkest. I have a squirrel popping into my view, the corner of my eye. Of my full-length door that I now open. I sit in the leftmost recliner. The reason why I shifted from the rightmost to the leftmost is, number one, I want to see my bird feeder. I just watched a woodpecker, by the way, right before I started, come and get a little snack. There, I think we're good. So it is kind of purpley pinkish red. I thought it was more red than that. So the barrels are true to the color. So I shifted to the left recliner, which is Hub's recliner. So now we kind of share this recliner. I try to make sure I leave it in a state that he can just come and sit down. I don't leave my pillow. I don't leave my clipboard. I put the clipboard down, and I don't put my blanket on it. And then I discovered that I didn't know that the blind, it's a metal blind. very small, maybe 3/4 of an inch, and it's inside this glass addition. It hangs from the door. The door has the glass, and then this also has glass. I did not know you could pull the whole thing up. I was just opening and closing it for 2 years. Never did I pull this top right tab. When I pull it down, it pulls up the strings and makes so I can see straight out the door. It is fantastic. Very inspirational. 3 yellows, yellow to orange. I have a teeny tiny bug. Do you guys see it? It's the season for no-see-ums. These are not the no-see-ums that bite you, thank goodness. And they are so small, they go right in through the screens, which means we have to keep the doors closed during this time when they are out in force. Bright orange yellow 49, bright orange 101, and pumpkin yellow 91. These are the floral centers. For whatever reason, I am making this the male bird. And for the male bird, it is the bird with brighter coloring than the upper bird. See how quickly these, just the color goes down and it fills the tooth just like that. Crazy. So I have already a redo on my coloring book organization. I don't know if I have mentioned that the busyness in our schedule is starting to taper off. My mom has moved in. We've got a little bit of a routine. I already visited her today, had some coffee. That's our thing, and we chat. She's not ready to exercise with me in the AM, but I still think if we were exercising in the morning that I would still want to come over to her house and have coffee. Hub, he was delivering, no, I delivered the mail. He actually went to the garbage and then stopped by there and visited them spontaneously. So my mom loved that. Very pretty and fast. I'm just rotating through, grabbing whatever is the next set of colors in my Lazy Susan. I have the bellflowers. They are going to be, they're so small, I'm only doing 2 colors. Light aqua green 114 and light sea green 75. The other word to describe these pencils, they're fast and they are easy. And what I mean by easy isn't just that they're very easy to use, they are so easy to read. So easy. Love the giant letters. I do have 2 versions of these. They're both the same size, 180. It was not intended, but I was suspicious from what I had read. And I owned the Black Barrel 3.8 millimeter core. I'm doing a little highlight, leaving white, and my shadow is the left side, which is the opposite of what I typically do. We'll see what else I do shadow-wise. See, those were the fastest bellflowers ever. All right, we've got greens. So I want to share the fantastic array of greens. You've already probably figured out that my strat, so we have this whole line of greens. I'll even rotate it so you can see the whole thing. And for me, I like to grab an olive. I didn't even do a blue-green for this bird because it's that small, but if I were to have to pick a blue-green, it would be bluish-green 109. And then I might go azure, but that's getting a little bit too blue, so I'd skip azure, and I would do bluish green, aqua green, light emerald green, and maybe light aqua green, and those, if I needed 4, that would be the blue-green pencils. Okay, then we have green, and I could pick medium green. There's a lot of nice just greens. Dark green, bean green, clover green, forest green being the darkest for just the regular straight up green. And then we have the olives. We have one olive, bottle green is a nice olive. Then we have olive, light olive, kiwi, dark yellowish green. Those are the 3. They're all just in order, perfect, ready to be picked. I don't think you need to go any lighter than that. If you did, there is this middle yellowish green also available, and even apple green if you needed to. Then we have the limey greens. So fresh green, light green, brilliant green. There's this whole array. And yellowish green, all the way to light yellowish green 102. All sorts of limey colors. So I do have 3 arrays of greens. I'm grabbing just the first set. It is 4, and I would call this my regular green. Starting with spring green 56, going to lawn green 120, bean green 177, forest green 11. I am using these mainly more like feathers. I am using these here, this 2 rows with the dashed lines. Yeah, these are just a really good budget pencil. They feel good. They don't have like a big core to work with, so I can not have to sharpen them as much. There is this little tiny hole here and a little tiny hole there. It feels like I should make them the bird body color, which I have not done yet. Yesterday I started with the bird's body color. Today I feel like ending it with the bird's body color. Moving to bean green. Forest green is my darkest green, but if I had to, I do have olive. That might give me better shadows. I'm going to bring that out with the olive greens. Moving on even lighter to lawn green 120. And this pencil has been sharpened. It's not that I wouldn't like it sharpened, I just like that the pencils feel pretty good without. I just don't feel like I have to sharpen. So we are kind of working through into a routine. My mom's sister sent a group text. My mom has had all sorts of problems with her phone, so she claims she doesn't get these group texts. And Linda claims she hasn't been getting any updates. And of course my mom says she has been sending Linda updates. And they've been chatting back and forth. So it's kind of funny to be in the middle. Instead of being the outsider that I've been for the last 8 years, I am in the thick of it now, with all of her conundrums and shenanigans and doctors and all of that. And that is the whole purpose for her being here, so that I can sit with her and we can chat and go over things and help with some medical decisions. just whatever she needs help with, and then we chat about it every afternoon. That's nice. Look at that. It was so fast. I question whether this color is actually dark enough. Being forest green, I might want to go darker, but I have a color in mind. So that is the regular green area. The olives are actually right here as well. I have 2 placements for olive green, regular green, 3 placements for olive green being my favorite. So my goal is to have my exercise and coloring finished and loaded for you guys if I can get on my schedule that I would love to be on by 5 o'clock Eastern time. Yesterday, because of having the stand be broken, both stands be broken, I did one very late video. And the other part of that story is that yesterday was my day to finish the 1 monthly video I do for my other channel. And it is a multi-day process, and it doesn't need to be multi-day. I just don't like to have it interrupt the daily color. So that's why I did the daily color very late the night before, so that I could focus and get through the whole process. I explore a kit quite extensively once a month. And that is the one item that makes me the income on that other channel. I really do enjoy the kits. I do enjoy they sell the individual stamps and dies, papers, all individually. And I love all of those as well. The kits are a fun challenge. Okay, I had switched to the middle, which is called light olive. And I have left some white to be able to do the lightest color, which is dark yellowish green. Did I show you these colors? I don't think I did. Here you go. Here's the blend. It's only 3. Dark yellowish green 105, light olive 116, and olive 22. Overall, the barrels aren't bad. You do get a pretty good indicator, except for that pink that I needed to reverse. So it is my goal to have videos not, I can have them filmed by 5 o'clock, but I am often processing them late. These little tiny leaves, I am going to make middle yellowish green. So I would like to be completely done processing. Now the only color left, I'm just going to grab one of the regular greens, the lawn green, and use lawn green, which is actually almost a blue green. You see that all by itself, how that looks? All right, greens are done. I have 1 flower left, and that is the next array of colors. The next blend is a 4-color blend. I don't really know if... I think that you can put these in this order, in the order of their barrels. So not bad for a budget set. Light purple 62, pale purple 15, bluish purple 40, and deep purple 171. And it is just this one flower right here at the bird's chin. Moving to the next one, bluish purple 40. This is definitely a little bit of a bluish tint to it. Softly blending that out, moving to pale purple 15. Lightest purple, light purple 62. This is nice and sharp. I see some tooth. All of the other tooth has been filled in. Going back one darker, maybe bluish purple. I have not checked this bird. I hope it has not been out of focus for you guys. Moving to the second lightest. And light purple 62. Wow, these are just lovely. Back to the darkest, deep purple 171. There, just wanted to make sure that was as vivid as I anticipated that it would be. Moving the brightness down a tad. Okay, we have some feathers. We've got the browns for the body. I have a beak. The beak is going to be bright orange yellow. Now we have to get into the browns. Going with some different colors here. Sort of a blend. There is this double line here that I am going to do reddy brown and tan. So that's what we're going to do. So it's going to be like these two colors above that line, separation line, and then brown olive and shallow yellow. So lighter tones. I am a little cold, so I have my blanket ready to put on my shoulder. Okay, starting with the dark color. I even have one darker. Where did I put that? Right here. It's the darkest red. It is called Burgundy 160. So here's our line right here. Kind of like a robin that has a spot of red. This bird has a twirly line separating the red from the cream. And the red is dark brownish red after the burgundy. So dark brownish red, 151. Lightest color is still brownish red, 45. When you get lines like this little line here that has an embossed effect, you can't really get rid of those. You sometimes, oh, you can go harder, and like that, this particular pencil was perfect to hide that. I do have now moving on to the other section, and I might actually use this or the cream for this lighter. I see some tooth left. So the color is brown olive, 132. And I might come back with a deeper color in a bit. So even though there is a line, I'm still doing a little bit of a transition. Lightest color is shallow yellow, 84. I'm gonna let this fade away to white. I'm going to grab the brown olive, 132 is going to be, and it needs to be sharpened because that's a very thin line for the legs. Very dainty legged birds these are. All right, I am putting these away. I do still see some tooth here. I have a plan for the darker tone. I saw a couple of crumbs there. All right, we have the tail feathers and the bottom body feathers. No longer leaves, so they will be colored as feathers. So here is the fun. Lead gray 18 and dark gray 79 for the tail feathers and the head. Sadly, the black in this set is gone, and they sent me a substitute. They sent a Crayola. I got like a burgundy and a black. I do have the bigger black, the 3.8 millimeter core that I can use with this set if I ever should need darker than this dark gray. Black is not a color I use very often, preferring to mix colors over just going straight black. Doing my shadows on the left side. And then we're going to bring in the light lead gray 18. So his tail is quite long. I hope I did not make this blurry for you guys. Normally when I do the head, now that I've already done a lot with it, I would do this. That way, I'm going to rotate it a little more, and I will pull him back. I hope that then I can come across here and not upset the focus. And that was my plan for the head. I could bring in a white to squish all of the color into the tooth, because I don't want it to be any darker than this. I could even peek and see if there's a very light gray. Okay, so I'm going to move to the tail. So I hope I'm going to be able to finish my coloring book storage this week. Get that posted. I will try to sit down with the other coloring books tomorrow after exercising. Okay, so the only last thing I see to do, it's very vibrant, love it. I am going to see if I can take this white, because I would love the head to be cool gray and stay cool gray. The other option, if this doesn't or didn't work, but I think it's going to be fine, would be a blender pencil. I have my Caran d'Ache, which is my favorite, right here. That was funny. The squirrel just, I haven't done anything or moved, but he was going across the stoop and then leapt in the air. So I'm not sure if something about me moved, caught him unawares. Not that close though. Oh, isn't he handsome? I talked about this down here being a little toothy. So the tail is gray fading to white. I tried to make a male and female version. You tell me if you think I did an adequate job of making the differences for these two birds to make them look like male and female. Tried to make the male a little bit brighter with all of the colors. Alright, so here's, if I rotate back, because I am finished. Alright, so there's our female bird. And then there's the male bird. He should be brighter so he captures the interest of his female birds. Alright, so that's it. We are finished with the double birds. That means when we next work in this book, it will be next week, and it will be a special Thanksgiving edition where we are coloring feathers. There are 13 feathers in all, and those 13 feathers, according to my chart, use up the last 13 sets of pencils for rotation number 5, and then we will be starting off in December with a new rotation number 6, and I think I'm just going to do a random number generated list. I am thinking that's working pretty well. So we've got the camping page, which is Black Widow, and then I need to put up a poll if I find a couple other sets that I love equally as well as the Brooke Funer square flower boxes for working on the hummingbird. So you should see that poll very soon, and tomorrow we will work on the camping page. Do all the YouTube things, like, share, comment, consider subscribing, and I hope to see you all tomorrow.